Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. I hope you guys have recovered some strength for the upcoming week. If you do enjoy the content, please consider dropping that like and subscribe. We are closely catching closer to the 900 subscription. So if you could, drop the sub and the like, that would be highly appreciated. Now, today I wanted to talk about two subjects which maybe they would merit separate videos, but I will try to do it all in one. Okay? So the number one is about this notion that because I predicted new all-time highs for the US stock market, and that I'm definitely opposed to the people like Harry Dent. By the way, Harry Dent is already predicting 2024 for an 86% drop in stocks and 90 in the Nasdaq and Bitcoin to go to 3,000. All of this, basically what he predicted last year and the last 3 or 4 years, again this year. Peter Schiff is predicting that Bitcoin is about to collapse and crash as usual. Everything's about to collapse and crash. The gold is going to go to the moon and beyond. So the typical expectations. Now, why am I against these people? Do I have any personal vendetta against them? Do I wish them harm? No. The reason why I'm against it is because these people are extremely dangerous as they get all of these matters wrong. Now, when I say things like the stock market will do all-time highs or we won't have this crash, at least right now, that all people are expecting, does that mean that I believe that the real economy is performing excellently well? No. In case you guys haven't noticed, for a long time, that there's no connection between the stock market and the real economy. There's simply no connection. Actually, many cases, the opposite is true. So meaning the worse the economy does, the better the stock market will do, because it's all about the money printing. You see, what happens is the Federal Reserve lowers interest rates and print a bunch of money. Okay? Does that mean that that money goes to average people? No. That means that money is accessible for very profitable corporations and the top 20% of the society. Those are the ones that benefit from it. But what do they do with that money? With that cheap credit? They buy assets. Stocks, real estate, bonds, you name it. So, sorry about that. So what ends up happening is the average person does not really benefit from all this money printing. And by the same token, you also don't see the inflation that all these people predict. But you're still devaluing your currency. You're just doing it in a different way. You're just pushing the big difference between rich people and poor people to extremes. Now, eventually, and by the way, you keep unproductive companies living, which eventually will turn into a problem. You may have noticed that I predicted two things for the US by 2030. Number one, negative interest rates. Number two, international stocks will outperform US stocks. This is by the end of the decade. So the reason why I'm predicting it is not because, but by the way, that doesn't mean that the US stock market is going to collapse 85% like these people say. I mean, no. That part, no. But we are paying a price for all this garbage that is being done. Yes, we should have bankruptcies. Yes, we should have business cycles. We shouldn't print money every time there's something's going wrong. But the point is, the people in power want that, so that's what you end up with. Then the purpose of the media, the purpose of banks, the purpose of central banks, purpose of the government is to convince you that somehow this is great for you, and if by any chance you disagree, it's the fault of the other political party. And that's it. And that's how we play this game. So make no mistake about it. Just because I predict that stocks are going, into all-time highs and like I've done. We are about to get there with the S&P 500. Is the only one missing. But the reason why I say it is, make no mistake about it, it's not because I believe, or the reason why I disagree dramatically with this, with these self-promoters that, just predict the end of the world year after year. It's not because I blindly think that the economy is doing amazing. It's because I understand the difference between the real economy and understanding the game and basically benefiting from it. That's it. Now, the second part of this video is linked to how poorly people understand investments, and that means even extremely knowledgeable, high graduation, many times working in the financial services. I cannot tell you how many times I've heard people at work, because they know that I'm big into crypto. They ask me which exchange do I use, and by the time that I say cold wallet, they are completely lost. They have no patience for it. They want to go someplace like to a big exchange, buy it, and keep it there. And I told them, do you understand that exchanges go bankrupt all the time? Like FTX. Oh yeah, but I trust this one. I told them, you understand, you become an unsecured creditor. That means if this thing goes bankrupt, you get paid at the end, and then you better pray that there's no fraudulent behavior going around, because if there is, then that money can get locked up, can be lost forever. I mean, you understand that what you're doing is the opposite of why crypto was invented, right? But they don't. You see, every time that they talk to me about crypto, every time I have family members or friends talking about crypto, is 2017, 2021. It's right at the tops. I've said this many times before. People want to buy Bitcoin at 50,000. They don't want to buy it at 15,000 every time. So take the example of the Pulsechain Ecosystem, my retirement packs. Those coins are up 80 to 100% over the past 30 days. And it's gaining momentum. One of the most famous wallets, Godwale, just bridged into Pulsechain $6 million. So it's going to buy heavily, in my opinion, in the near future. Now, when was I talking about Pulsechain Ecosystem? When it was down on the dirt. When it was being accused by the SEC and Richard was being accused of selling unregistered securities. When everybody was telling it was a big scheme. Richard stole everybody's money. He's going away, blah, blah, blah. And you would go to CoinMarketCap, for example. You see the comments of people, all red, all negative. As soon as we start pumping, all the comments are now positive. You see, but this is the point. The chart, the candles, the color of the candles will tell you the narrative, will tell you the news, not the other way around. If an ecosystem has product market fit, as a very strong, die-hard, cultish community like they do have it, when the products are flawless, are audited, have been tested left, right, up and down, you are well positioned for a very rewarding ecosystem. Now, does that mean that it will go up? No, of course not. Anybody who guarantees any sorts of those stuff is lying to you. But I'm willing to make a big bet that they will succeed. And when I see it going down, to me, I never flinch. It's a great buying opportunity. I don't stress about it. I talked about the Pulsechain ecosystem when it was very unpopular to talk about it. I'm not going to be like one of these YouTubers that just pop up after the pumps and talk about it. I've talked about it way beforehand. I've been smashed for it. People were saying, look, man, I like your sudden wealth, but, I'm afraid you're going to lose all your money. I feel bad for you. Other people just call me outright idiot. To me, that's all good. You see, if I had everybody on my side and the price was still going down, that to me scares me, because that means that maybe these projects will never go anywhere. But when everybody's calling it a scam and the SEC is against it, and basically everybody's giving up, and there's fighting within the community, and everybody was waiting for the 100x from the get-go when they're saying everybody's expecting so much stuff going up. I remember when X came out, X went down something like 80+% from launch price, 80 something percent down, and then we put in the bottom. In my opinion, we put in the bottom in all coins from the Richard Heart ecosystem. When I say that, I'm talking about Pulsechain, Pulsex, X, both on Ethereum and on Pulsechain. Hedron, both on, although Hedron is not from Richard Heart, in any case, it's a derivative of X, and Icosa, which is also not from Richard Heart. But those are my, call it, core retirement coins. Okay? Point is, even with investing, people want to buy tops. People don't want to buy when it's all in the dirt. Like, I like to buy it when I'm seeing stuff like crypto is a scam, it's proven to be a scam, these guys are all going bankrupt at the same time, there's really blood in the streets, everybody's stressing the F out, everybody's, there are documentaries coming out explaining how crypto is always a scam, blah, blah, all this kind of stuff. To me, that's music to my ears. When everybody's pumping it, it's Super Bowl ads, and Jim Cramer cannot go 2 days without talking about it, and CNBC is all over it, and you see crypto advertisement everywhere, and these companies are growing, and all the companies linked to that. To me is a bad side. When JPEGs are being sold for $1 million, that is a sign that we are closer to the top than to a bottom. But unfortunately, the majority of people really want to buy that euphoric mode and then get completely annihilated on the way down. But this happens every time. I mean, again, at work, people come to me talking about stocks or whatever after the Nasdaq 100 ran 55%. People come to me talking about, oh, you were right about Bitcoin and the repetition of the cycle, but should I buy it at like 48,000? At 15,000, I was the little crazy guy. I would say, yeah, sure, crypto. People wouldn't pay 2 minutes of attention to me. But now, all of a sudden, they want me to kind of draft a whole investment thesis and investment plans and God knows what. What I've said is, to me, is 2025, 2022, 2023, big accumulation years. 2024, I do think these coins are still cheap, but they're getting less cheap by the day. But I do believe that it's going to be pullbacks along the way. So my strategy in that sense has not changed. But you see, the same way that my position was not popular at the time, when I think we are approaching the top, my position would be equally unpopular, but for the opposite reason. So people will come to me with theories about how this ecosystem will go another 500x from here. And to me, that will tell me that the top is arriving. So I'm gonna, put some cold water in the middle of a big party and people will be against it. But once again, I don't need YouTube to live. So I have nothing to gain to come here and BS you and, try to promise you empty stuff, just to get views. Because that to me is disingenuous and actually it's completely dishonest. Now I understand people do it because that's the only talent in life they have, is to convince people to follow them, to buy their stuff on YouTube. I don't need to do it. I'm just here recording my ride. And if everything goes well as I expect it goes, I will be able to retire at the end of next year. Worst case scenario, I should get a free house. Well, free house at my age, not so bad. Best case scenario, generational wealth. And I can dedicate myself to other interests in life and to basically ensuring that my future generations will have everything that they ever need. And I hope that my bet will be correct. I hope that my prediction, as many of the others, have turned true. But this one, I do expect it. I do hope that it's the one that really goes through, which is Pulsechain Ecosystem will be one of the biggest winners of 2024, 2025. If not, well, I do have other contingency plans, and we'll get there when we get there. But at the same time, I just wanted to leave you guys with this. Unfortunately, we are attracted by the green candles. Stock market, stocks, individual stocks, index funds, crypto, it doesn't matter. We are just attracted to buying at the worst possible time and selling at the worst possible time. And if you do a little bit of on-chain analysis, you'll see that the biggest wallets, the richest wallets, do the actual opposite. So that's what I try to do as well. With that, guys, I leave you be. I wish you a very strong start of the week, and I'll catch you in the next one.